Hi guys. Okay, I'm gonna need to bring it down. It's so good to semi-see you. Let me bring this down. Hi Jean, I've missed baking so much. When I say this is my first bake in the kitchen, it is. I haven't baked macarons for 2 months. I'm sad because I'm sick right now, so these macarons won't go to anybody, but it's a good tester. Hi. Okay, let me get my iPad up so I can read you guys' comments because I'm a little farther away than usual. I'm sorry about my voice. I didn't want to postpone the live because I feel like I've waited so long to bake with you guys. So I just said, let's do it. How is everybody doing? Okay. Hi Claudia, hi Patricia, hi Princess, is it Sazi? Hi Affy, hi Nicole, and Randy and Cheryl. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Celia. Thank you, Amy. Amy said if I'm not feeling good, people would understand if I cut it short or postpone. I'm on some Advil right now. I think I'm gonna be good. I just hope my voice can, that you guys can understand me clearly. That's the only issue. If that were to be a problem, then I would stop. So can everybody hear me okay? Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you guys in the chats. Okay. Oh, Amy. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. So we can hear. Okay, perfect. All right. So this is my first time baking in the kitchen. I have made some roasted potatoes in my oven and some roasted Brussels sprouts. And I did notice some burning on the outsides of my pan. So I'm definitely gonna need to watch out for overcooking my macarons that are on the outsides of my sheet pan. So I'm gonna pipe everywhere and see to get the best idea of, you know, how much I can push in the oven. I put a picture on Instagram. Some people are not on Instagram, some people are. And I have this like convection microwave on top and then a oven. There's convection setting and regular bake setting on this oven. It's a GE. Let me show you guys. Ingredients are expensive. They are, and I appreciate you, Amy. Because we're in between jobs right now, it's like we don't even have insurance, and because I'm sick, I can't do anything about it. Yeah, but thank you. Hope very soon we'll be all set. So this is the oven. This is a microwave. It's tricky because it makes you think it's a double oven, but you can set it to convection bake. Who has one of these? I'm very curious if anyone, oh my gosh. Celia, thank you so much. You guys are so generous. I would love to hear if anyone has I need to read the manual because this is a microwave, but it has a convection bake setting. But I don't know if you can put like aluminum in it, like a regular microwave. You can't put metal. So just wondering if I could bake in this on the convection setting, but I can also read the manual. And then this guy is our oven. When I first saw this oven, I thought it wasn't going to fit my sheet pans, my air bake trays. And ooh, Heidi says yes, I can put metal in it. So this is the oven. It's pretty tight. It's smaller than my last because my last one wasn't a wall unit, but it fits my whole large air bake tray in here. Let me show you. Sorry, I got stuck. So I'll show you guys this view that we have too in a second. So sorry about so it's very tight, but that's the large. I think it's like 15 by or 16 by 20 something for the large, guys. So the air bake tray fit, which is nice. And I was so happy because I thought even those sheet pans weren't gonna fit in there. Let me go back to put you guys back over here. Oh, it's kind of backlit if I show you. Oh, okay, we're getting good information. I'm gonna read all of that in a second about the metal and the microwave. Know Your Salmon, a friend gave us this, which is awesome because we have to get into knowing all the salmon and what season they run and stuff like that. We just went to Soldotna and saw all the silver salmon running right now. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but that's like the inlet outside. It's just so gorgeous. I can't even believe we live here. Okay, let me set you up. Okay. It's all gonna be frozen over in a little bit. So we have that to look forward to. Marcia, hello, thank you. Okay, so, hi Shannon, thank you so much. Shannon, Isa. Okay, Ian, hello. Take care, appreciate it. Amelia, hello too. Heidi says, okay, that was when you were talking about the microwave. You can bake in a sheet tray, but you can't use aluminum foil. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm super excited. I'm gonna definitely test out baking in that convection oven sometime with you guys then. Today we're just gonna use my regular oven. Let me preheat it because it takes forever. I'm sort of crooked. Okay. Bake. Okay. We don't have like light bulbs for our, is that crooked? That's more crooked now. Sorry guys. So I don't have light bulbs for my lights. Hopefully it's not too dark in here. I'm getting used to the brown and the black, which is, you know, not what I used to have, that white kitchen, which is nice for filming, but this is definitely pretty stuff. So I just need to get used to the colors. Maybe we can even paint the backsplash white, I don't know, but okay. Either way, we're good. Okay, I have a GE profile ring. Oh, I think that's what Nicole, I think that's what this is. She said with one convection and one standard. I think Nicole, we have the same oven then because it says profile in the corner. The metal just needs to have a flat surface. Okay, I'm gonna look into this. Oh, thank you, Jean. She said she liked the apron. It's Yosemite, but I felt like, you know, bringing nature into it too. Hi from Jamaica, hello. Okay. Thank you, Leanne, I appreciate it. I am really annoyed by I'll probably bring you guys closer as I start. So first of all, let's pick a color real fast. Thank you, Amy. I would love that. I would love to talk about it. I would love to listen to it. I was listening to his podcast for a little while, and then I had stopped because I think they took a break, and then I just never got back into it. Okay, first one. So burgundy, sugar rose or redwood. Which one should we do? Oh, Jen, he said green. I could get green too. Let's do redwood. That was the first one. Sorry, Jen, I forgot to preface with I had some options. Green would have been cool though. Next time we'll do like a soldier green, maybe to like bring in the outdoorsy stuff. Okay, redwood we're doing. I'm glad you're here too. It's so rainy and hot in Sydney. Yeah, humidity is gonna be an issue, but if you're able to close up all your windows, put on your AC if you're in the hot humidity, it will help a great deal. Just block off that the air from outside from getting in. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys down so we can actually see what's going on. This is gonna be my normal recipe that I use. It's just scaled down. So instead of 100 grams of egg whites, I cracked open 2 eggs, and that was 63 grams. So I made a 63% of my 100% recipe, if that makes sense. So I multiplied everything by 0.63, and so we've got like 57 grams of sugar. $82 grams of confectioner sugar and almond flour mixed together. I had sifted in stuff last night and I just plopped it into here, and I'll just reuse this plastic bag from time to time. But because I'm sick, I probably actually won't be able to, sadly, reuse too many times. Just thought of that. Steamy in North Carolina. It sounds kind of nice to have some steaminess, to be honest. It's already in the 50s here. So it's, I don't want to use up, oh, I get that. It's a lot of money to run that AC, right? Yeah, it's true. The things we do for macarons, right? Okay, so let me get started. Already a very good. It is, why? Once you get it down though, JP Blade, once you get down macarons, it's so rewarding. You'll have a failed batch here and there. Everybody does. But you're not wasting as much ingredients by far as the first like 7 to 10 times you try it in your home. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Whipping my egg whites, putting in my sugar, getting the stiff peaks, and then I'll add in my dries. This stuff is normal, you guys. Get nice and foamy. Now usually when I am doing something for the first time, I like to do a bigger batch so I can make multiple trays and bake and learn with each tray. But because I'm sick, I don't want to waste that much ingredients, so I'm just doing a small batch. I've missed you guys. I like French best. Okay, once the sugar is dissolved, I add my powdered colorant. This is the Sugar Art Redwood. You guys chose it. If you are buying Redwood, or actually any Sugar Art products, you can use baketoujours to get a discount, 15% off. Be careful with these powders. They can make a huge mess if you sprinkle the powder anywhere. So I always put my tool right into the sink right after. That's so true, Marcia. Marcia said she's learned something new every time she bakes macarons. You should see her macarons. They're absolutely gorgeous. And it's true, you learn something every time. That's why I think we all love it so much. You don't get bored. I'm gonna go up to speed 2. I will. Yes, Tina, I'll add a link. That might not work. I'll add a link in the actual description of the video afterwards. Isn't this color beautiful? I haven't made macs for so long. I actually don't know the humidity because I gave away my dehumidifier, and that was how I would tell. David, thank you. Hi, David. Thank you so much. Does your family like mac? Amy, they do like macarons. My kids will never turn down a macaron, or any sweets for that matter. JP Blade, they're too sweet, huh? Hi, Levy, thank you. Leanne, I'll definitely address your oven once I'm done with this. Almost there. building on itself like I like it to. I'm gonna go a little further. This color isn't showing up as beautiful on the, it's still pretty, but it's like more of a pink hue. I just love it. You can add more to get more depth or even less and do like a, it looks great with a like a rose gold finish. Now it's building on itself a little bit more. What I'm looking for when I'm using my little hand mixer is just for it to be stiff all the way throughout the bowl. I don't want it just stiff in the middle. Make sure you move around your whisk the whole time and don't just stay in the middle. And you can see the striations all over are just staying, right? It's nice and solid. Not coming out of the bowl. Okay. And I did use egg white powder in here. Someone mentioned egg albumin, egg white, right? Let's see. Isn't red what? Yes, it's a beautiful blush, Marcia. JV Blade mentioned, I think, using egg albumin powder, which is the same. Everyone calls it something different, like every country or state calls it something different. We call it egg white powder, or there's albumin. All of it is just dried egg whites. You just want that extra protein to help the structure of your meringue be super strong. Okay, we're gonna add in our dries. Once I pipe, I would love to get back to oven talk with you and Precious for a thicker batter. We can talk too, that's great. Leanne, you were talking about your oven, so we can talk about that. Okay, so now I'm really curious because someone asked me what the humidity is in here, and I really want to know. It's very rainy here. This is the rainy season. August and September, the rainiest months in Anchorage. So here I thought it would always be a very dry, cold climate, and I was wrong. And so I might need to get a dehumidifier again, but we'll see. And I'm at sea level, right? Because like you can see the inlet back there. So it's not like I'm high altitude, but these egg whites definitely took longer to whip up. So I just gotta figure out this new environment. Also, when you start using egg white powder or albumin, that makes it take a little bit longer to whip up your eggs to stiff peaks. Just so you know. Without the albumin or the egg white powder, it whips up faster, but it's not as sturdy. So I'm just folding in my dries. I did about 2 to 3 additions. Right now I'm not even trying to deflate the batter. I'm just kind of getting those dries incorporated, even though it looks really, really weird and chunky. They are expensive, and the prices for egg white powder like went up. Judy's went up a lot. I haven't had to buy it yet, but it's kind of like when vanilla extract went soaring after the storms, and they knocked out all the crops. Oh man, and like all of a sudden a 13 bottle at Costco turned into like $35. That was crazy. I'm hoping inflation goes down and we're able to, or we just need to raise our prices again. But either way, something's got to give, right? Because of how expensive everything is. Okay, so here we are. We're just at the stage where I put in all my dries. Genie Dream. I'll have to look into that. This is not at a flowing consistency. This is not where we want it to be. But this is a great point if I hadn't colored my batter, where I would split my batter to add different colors and make multiple colors from one batch. But instead, I'm just doing one. I'm just gonna press out the air now and do the macaronage process. So I just push out in the middle against my side of my bowl, and then I do little quarter turns. Some people prefer to like spread it all over at once. I have always just done it one and then continue to do it. So I'm getting all the batter, but it's not all at once. You know what I mean? Like when they like spread it like this. Yeah, I don't like to do that. It's all personal preference. Just not what I'm comfortable with. Just like I do not like mixing. I don't like having my meringue and putting it into my dries. I like my dries put into my meringue. Everyone's different. It's not wrong or right, just different preferences. Almost there. Hi, Molly. Hey, sweetie. This is why I can't have a bakery in my house anymore. She sheds so much. Hopefully, if we settle in here, we can get some type of outside storefront kind of thing going on. But we want to make sure we like it, you know, and that we like my husband's job. He starts next week and everything like that. Lorraine, thank you so much. Welcome back. Oh, thank you. Okay. I don't know if it's because I haven't done this for 2 months, but it looks a little weird to me. I'm not gonna lie. But I think we're good. Oh, Marcia, thank you. Pretty good. All right. What did you say? I missed a lot of... Isn't she fluffy? She's a fluffy girl. Okay. Make your own vanilla. Yeah, that's a good idea. Making our own vanilla. We just don't keep hard alcohol in the house, so it could be difficult. Hope you get... Thank you, Princess. Thank you, Stephanie. We love her. Okay, enough fooling around with the batter. We're good. She's flowing. She's pretty. And I love the color. Let's put her in the piping bag. I have a 9mm tip, which is about equivalent to a Wilton 12, I believe. And let's pipe some macarons. Get all that batter in your bowl. I can't wait to see how my oven does, or how I do, because user error as well. I haven't done this for a while. Okay. Let's pipe. See if you guys can see. Straight up and down. I traveled with the almond flour. Just seems a little interesting. I don't think it got ruined in travel. Just kind of going slowly and watching how it spreads and kind of observing what my batter's doing, just because I haven't done it in a while. I start right in the middle. There's these dots, which is great on these mats. And I just focus on the dot. I press, press, press. And when it is at the end of where I want it to go, which is almost that second dot, I stop pressing with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. And then with my left hand, kind of just help it release. So I want to make sure I have, because I'm going to try no rest. I want to make sure I have enough for my second tray. So I'm going to pat this out a little bit, tap it out, and then start piping on my second tray just to make sure I have enough. Just because, you know, doing no rest, I'm going to put those in right away. As soon as I pipe a couple on here, I want to see if no rest works. I want to see if regular pans work. I am doing a regular aluminum pan right here, and it is flipped upside down for better airflow. I haven't plugged in, and I don't think I'll use my my little toaster convection oven for a little while. I don't want it on my counter if I can avoid extra counter space, but I might miss it because it bakes up so nicely. Okay. So because this isn't an air bake tray, usually I have to rest. So this will be my second tray. And I'm not using the convection setting. Nicole, if you're still here, you said you had a profile. I'm curious, do you do no rest with yours? Okay. All right, you guys are so good. I'm gonna read all this stuff soon. Are certain ingredients difficult to come in Alaska? Marcia, I'm not quite sure yet, but I've heard almond flour is expensive, but everything is expensive here. If you go grocery shopping, everything is quite pricey to live here. So you do it with an air bake tray, okay. So I'm gonna pop these in, and then I'm gonna rest this second tray, and we'll see how we do. Okay, I set a timer for 10 minutes. I'm gonna set you guys up, and then I'll flip, see how we're doing, and then if we have time, I'll do this on the live. If not, if I'm feeling crappy or we're not having anything to talk about, I'll delay it. Let's see if these dry. It feels humid in here, but I don't know. Okay, turn down your volume if you have an Alexa, because I'm going to ask her. Alexa, what's the humidity outside?
Currently, the humidity is 54%.
So it's...
One more thing. I have a morning updates routine that will provide you updates on the weather and your deliveries for today. Do you want to try it?
No, thank you. Sorry.
Anytime.
Hi, Nina. Okay, so it's 54% humidity outside right now. Not too bad. I can't imagine it being more humid in here. We haven't run the dishwasher, or I held off on doing laundry, so hopefully we're good in here. For the dew point. Ooh, interesting. Celia, okay. Alexa, what's the dew point?
The current weather is 76 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather, with a high of 92 degrees and a low of 65 degrees.
Nicole, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Okay, cool. You guys can hear me. Like I wasn't talking for so long. Sorry. I think she was set up for Portland, so I don't even know if it's. She said what humidity it is right now here. So, because she said it was going to be 70 degrees, and it is not. So I'll have to check that out some other time. Okay. Perfect. I just want to make sure, because my phone does that frequently, especially if someone's calling, you won't be able to hear me. Okay. So I wanted to address, thank you, Claudia. Can we replace brown sugar for white? Yes, Claudia, you can do brown sugar meringue for your macarons. I think I have a video, a live on it. I know lives aren't super efficient to watch back. Camilla Pies and Tacos might have, I think she put out one recently too. So she has an edited video. Maybe just Google like brown sugar macarons, and I think she did one. Okay. Annette, I hope to do more vegan macarons for sure. I do not consider myself someone to teach on the subject because I'm still learning them. But Camilla from Pies and Tacos has a plethora of videos on it and information and a blog. So if you want to check out hers like right away while I'm still learning, I suggest her page for that. Okay, so I'm going back up in the feed to get your questions. Where can I find the formula for making different quantity of batches? So Patricia, if you just have your regular, that's why my base recipe is off of 100 grams of egg whites. So I just crack my eggs, and then whatever I get, so today I cracked 2 eggs and the egg whites equaled 63 grams. So the base recipe is off of 100 grams, and I only have 63, so it's 63% of the 100% recipe, right? So you just multiply everything by 63%, or if you got 75 grams of egg whites, since that original recipe is 100, and you can go off of it, you just do, it's a 73% recipe of your one quantity, right? So then multiply every ingredient by the same factor by 75%, 0.75, and then you'll get lower quantities. Or if you want a bigger batch, and it's not exactly 2 times or anything like that. You can just crack all the eggs you want and then multiply it by the factor of how much more it is of that original recipe, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Marcia, I thought Marcia, you said that my dog looks at home in Alaska, and I was thinking you were meant me. Yes, Molly, our dog, is very happy here. I can't wait I can wait for the snow, but she's gonna love being in the snow. Okay, someone was talking about, I use the Swiss, Precious L, I use the Swiss method and the recipe from sugar bean. I use French too, but the weather here is so humid, sometimes French doesn't work out. Yeah, I feel like if you use air bake trays and no rest, that will really help in the humid environment. So if you are using a resting method, then something with a stronger meringue definitely is a good thing to have in your repertoire. And someone was asking earlier which method I like best, and for ease, I like French. But if, I feel like there is a time and a place for each method. I haven't done Swiss as much, but I feel like Italian is such a great method to have it under your belt. Is that the right saying? To be able to do. French is just such an easy whip out, like a few macarons. But if you want a ton of production, then sometimes Italian method with how solid that meringue is better. Copper bowl. Ooh, copper. Copper's supposed to be so good. I don't understand the science of it, but it is great tip, Celia. Okay. I said hello to David. Okay, Leanne. Sorry, guys. I'm going up still on the feed. Scene. So, is it possible Leanne asked, is it possible to have an oven so bad that you cannot get crooked tops? That you cannot get crooked tops? I'm confused, Leanne, by the question. An oven can definitely be calibrated. When I was, Molly, no, get your toy. When I was in Pasadena, we had to get a new igniter because the oven was going all hayward, and that kind of calibrated it. But I believe an oven can be calibrated, but you might need to get a specialist because I don't know how. Someone was talking about soft tops, and I think JB Blade was helping with that, or making a thicker batter someone asked about too. It's all about ratio, and you have to be careful just adding more dries. But what I say is make a really solid meringue, so maybe add a little more sugar to your meringue. Molly, and then play a little bit with the dries as well. The more, you don't want to overload your meringue with sugar, but the more sugar that's in it, the sturdier it's going to be. My dog is tearing up the pillow. So 1 second, let me go get the pillow out of her mouth. And then I'll come back down. If you guys have more questions that I missed from above, just restate them. Why does my Italian macarons crack on the top? Molly. Hey, no. Get a toy. Get your toy. Here you go, Susie. Oh, there's a 10-minute timer. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn my oven down. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what's going on. They do not look good. I mean, they're baking. It's hard to see with the lighting. I gotta turn them. quiet. Turn off timer. Wow. Okay. Bake. Okay, apologies. Let me do the timer. Let's do... So usually I bake 10 minutes and then I turn it and then I bake another 10. The oven temperature is set at... Okay, quiet girls. It was set... Penny, quiet. Quiet. The oven temperature was set 300. Usually I put it down with an air bake tray, not that much. I just put it down like 290. Quiet, Penny. But it was at 375. Huskies are such a... They are. I thought, like, our dog is a Malamute, but northern breed, right? So they're not supposed to, like, be barkers, I thought. And she definitely is. Whenever she sees someone through a window or anything, she's barking and then sets off everybody. But anyways, so the oven was not true to temperature. It was way too hot. I don't know if you heard, but I had set it at 300, and when I looked just now in there, it was at 375. Yikes. So they're all barkers. Yes, they are. So usually I set my timer for 10 minutes and then another 10, but because it was baking at such a high temperature, I am going to take it out in about 5 minutes short, I think. There's a reason my dog's name. Yes, I know. Oh gosh, you love them so much, and they also are such big nuisances. But I can smell the macarons. They're like, they smell like they're almost at that burning point, you know. So we'll definitely take it off soon. But so my oven, when I was doing my roasted potatoes and Brussels sprouts, it didn't spike. So I'm just confused why it spiked today. But lesson learned, and I will turn it down a few notches next time for my second tray, and we'll take them out and test them out in a second. But this is what it's all about when trying a new, both of mine have been spiking here recently. Isn't that weird, Heidi? You know what? I always remember with the change of temperature, I smell my macs. I'm gonna take them out. But with the change of temperature, sometimes that really cold sheet tray makes the oven spike because it's bringing the oven temperature down so much. So maybe it's a little chillier in here. And the pilot light was like, oh, you just lowered the temperature. I'm going to raise the oven a lot more. But the macarons don't look good. Like, the feet aren't raising like I like them. They look like they're going to be fragile. So I did think that the batter was interesting. So, you know, it could not only be my oven too. It's just a whole new environment that I have to get used to. I set a time. Oh, okay, 50 seconds. I'm going to find one. Okay, lower almond flour ratio. So I missed what Amy, you guys were talking. My frustration is that no matter what method or how long I macaronage, I end up with hollow gaps and fragile shells. Amy, that's such a hard one because it could also be your oven. Like it could just be the efficiency of your oven. So here these are. So like from the outside, they look fine, right? But the feet ruffled, and they look just not how I like them. Okay, let's see this tray. Ooh, they did dry. Tiny bit sticky. So maybe a couple more minutes to let my oven get reset up anyways. And let me look at your guys' questions or discussion because I feel like I missed all your discussions. Hi, Rosna. Do you bake right after you pipe? Yes. With Tina. Yes, I usually do. Bake right after I pipe. They didn't crack because I used the air bake tray, but I've got to figure out this oven because they don't look good either. Like, you know, when they just look like they're gonna be fragile almost. Like it's hard to explain. And they baked like 5 minutes faster than my previous oven. They have sturdy tops though, so you know, every oven bakes them differently, so I'm definitely gonna see what it's like before I knock it, but okay. I will set it 300 and it will go up to, wow, Heidi said she's been having her oven spike 90 degrees higher in Fahrenheit than what she sets it to. Oh, that is frustrating. Okay, here's the macaron, just really tiny feet. I mean, they're just not as bubbly as I usually like them, but they're not bad. The shell's sturdy. My Oster toaster oven is where is it's on top of, it's in the garage. Maybe I need to break it out. Haven't had a macaron shell in so long. Okay. Did you wave a chicken leg? Oh, Celia, I forgot to wave a chicken leg. I'll wave my leg. My hip popped as I tried that. Does my leg count? Sorry, you can hear me chewing. I apologize. Anyone that has the miso, whatever they don't like people eating, my apologies. Okay. So these aren't as bad as I expected. I just don't love the look of them. This oven may produce them to look like that, so maybe I'll just undermix a little bit more than I'm used to make it a little more bubbled. Yes, misophonia, that's it. Sorry for those. Yeah, so like, let me try to get 2 off. It's still pretty hot. So if you can see, they're just not as bubbly as I like them. So I'll macaronage less next time and turn my oven down a little bit, which will help with the ruffles to not burst out as much. It should help allow it to raise slowly and then settle down without coming out. Try it. So they look nice in the inside with a good chew, like Rasma said. They're just not aesthetically my favorite. Okay, so I have to wait an hour for my macs to dry in Sydney. Oh, that is a long time to wait. I've heard of people using hair dryers. Have you ever tried putting them, using a hair dryer? Or there are those, like dehumidifier, or you could oven dry. You could even try to oven dry like a sugar bean does and flash them in a very low oven, and it will dry the tops off. If you don't, it kind of acts how that's how an air bake tray works, is that because it's an insulated tray, it slowly has the heat rise up to the shell. So it's basically like oven drying, because it takes forever for the heat to get to the bottom of the macs and start them rising, so that the tops have time to dry in the oven first. So these are dry enough. I'm gonna pop them in, pop them in. So it was still at 315. Air bake trays are really nice because they don't allow the heat to hit it right away. So with this oven spiking, even with my oven set at 285, it could crack this second tray without having it be an air bake tray. But I'm willing, I don't want to turn it down because I'm willing to test how high I can have it with them without them cracking. So this is my first trial. I'm prepared to see cracking if the oven stays at 315. But I just want to know, like the higher your oven temperature is, the less likely you're gonna have hollows. So it's kind of like a game that you have to play of what's that temperature that I can get no hollows at, but also have nice feet and not have cracking and stuff like that from too high of a temperature. Also, yeah, that's good for that. Do you have convection in your regular oven? Amy, I do have a convection setting, so I might try that another time too. But this already baked really efficiently, so I don't know if I need to. We'll see. Molly, what do you need, sweetie? Molly. Okay. Okay, Lester. Let me see what your question was. Did you have a question, Lester? Because I don't think I got it. Heidi said, hollows can mean so much. Underbaked and not hot enough, not stiff enough meringue. Yeah, there's so many things that go into hollow macarons. And, you know, a big thing, though, is our ovens. And so I just hate when people take it really personally that they can't ever get rid of their hollows, because there's a good chance your oven is just not efficient enough. So that's when people start adding some additives like cornstarch or more egg white powder. But then it can also play with the texture and mess up the texture and get a little too much of a bite instead of that nice chew. Okay. Um, so Randy said, thank you for explaining the insulated baking tray. She bought them, but wasn't really sure how they improve baking process, and now you know. Oh, great. Marcia, your oven has hollow problems for sure. Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, if it's a gap, I don't care. Like a true hollow is what's the problem, and that's usually a true hollow to me. I know everyone has their personal beliefs about hollows, but a true hollow is going to be usually paired with a fragile top because your meringue wasn't sturdy, and you have these either ruffled feet or weird looking feet, and you don't have any substance in the middle. A little bit of a hollow is honestly fixed. I mean, I've seen people push in the bottoms of their macarons, and you just make a little more room for your filling, and it pushes the filling out to the edge. Or when your clients eat it and they've matured, you can't even tell. Hollows are not something that keep me up at night, especially when I was selling the product. I was not breaking into every macaron to make sure that they were full. That would have eaten up any profit that I could see with a food business. So that's definitely not the issue, but I totally get being hung up on seeing what's inside your macaron and not being happy with it, because I mean, I'm not happy with the way these look either. I wonder if these are cracking too. I'll show you guys in a second. As long as, Marcia said, as long as tops, bottoms, and feet are happy and they're looking sexy, she's good. I love it. Amy, the shell cracks a little when you eat them. Yeah, so if you do feel, Amy, that your tops are a little bit fragile, hi Zoe, I am curious if you could whip up your meringue a little bit more. You know, it's just so hard knowing exactly what's going on. But if you ever want to like send pictures of your stages to me, we can kind of figure out and troubleshoot what and how we can get that shell sturdy and make you happy with the inside of your macaron. I've been brushing the bottoms with milk. Yeah, so if we overcook our macarons, that is definitely something you can do. I've also seen, I think, Jaslyn from gosh, why am I blanking? Jaslyn, who made my beautiful Sugarholic girl. There we go. My goodness. She recently put something where I think she brushed with milk and then kept it in an enclosed container, so it kind of got all the humidity, like it soaked up the humidity, which was cool. Rasna, yes, exactly. Sugarholic girl. The Sugarholic. I can't talk. So she not only brushed the shells with milk, but also put them into an enclosed container and kept them out at room temperature, and I guess they got a little softer. To me, no matter what, if you overbake your macaron, you're not going to get the perfect texture, but milk definitely helps save some things. Or use a moister filling, like a cream cheese filling or a jam center. That will help too. Tres leches max. Oh, that sounds really good. I got rid of the gap when I slowed down the meringue process. Ooh, Randy, that's interesting. Yeah, I've tried slowing the whipping process and it didn't work for me, so that's awesome. So if you guys read that comment, you could try whipping a little bit slower and not, excuse me, sorry, whipping a little bit slower and bringing the meringue to a stiff peak in a longer period of time. do you use? Razna, oven drying didn't work for you. Did it crack your oven? If you see, the problem with oven drying is that if you put it into a regular oven at a low temperature, it could be super humid in your oven still. So you have to make sure the oven's on at that temperature for a while so it doesn't get all steamy in there. Because at a certain point, I feel like it's just like a steam bath instead of a drying area. So if you could try preheating for longer at that lower temp and then taking it out when it's dried and turning your oven on and then putting it back in. Let's check out what's going on inside this oven. I feel like I'm missing so many of your questions. I'm sorry. All right, so the light makes it very difficult for y'all to see, but they didn't crack. The feet are way taller from resting them and hopefully from a lower oven temperature. So what happens when you have a really high oven temperature, they'll raise quickly and then sink down. So this is a little bit lower of a temperature, so it's allowing it to rise slower, and they still need to sink. My macarons always do that. They definitely go down, but they might stay a little bit taller on this second tray. Resting your macarons helps with taller macarons feet as well. Okay. Yes, fruit fillings, Razna. Cracking the door open allows moisture to escape too. Yes, you can put like a wooden spoon in the door if you feel like your oven holds a lot of moisture inside. That's really great to point out. I'm gonna flip. My thermometer still says 350 in there, so I'm questioning life at this time, but they're working for now, so we'll see. Oh, I forgot to put a new timer on. So that was 10 minutes. I'll do another 5, just like I did the air bake tray, so 15 minutes altogether, and see where we're at. But we're at a lower temperature, so I'm thinking it might need a little bit longer. So this is all experimental. No matter how much experience you have, learning a new oven is something we all have to do. You can't expect perfection right away. And, you know, a whole new environment as well. Like my meringue didn't whip up the same as it does in Portland. So that's something I need to work on as well. I didn't love the way that it felt. It wasn't getting as stiff as I'd like it to be. So could be that because I left my eggs out at room temperature last night, and usually I whip up cold eggs. So I don't know, but something I'm gonna have to keep experimenting with and figuring out. So I usually did bake 10 minutes, flip, bake 10 minutes. But now with this oven, it's cutting off a lot of time. So I'm baking 10 minutes, flipping, and baking 5 more minutes. I didn't have any lopsidedness, so I don't feel like if you're having more lopsided issues, you might want to turn your tray more halfway point. But they aren't lopsided on either of these trays, so I think it's baking pretty evenly, which is good. Celia, cold eggs, not better. They don't whip up as voluminous. That's just what I'm used to, and it feels almost thicker because it's cold, and so the meringue almost gets denser. So maybe that's probably it now that I'm talking about it. it's not better at all. It's just what I'm used to. So, but yeah. Room temperature eggs will whip up more voluminous, and cold eggs will be more dense. Also, I was, I'm trying to think of his name. Greg, JC Greg. If you guys have been on the lives before, he's phenomenal, really into the science of and stuff of the pastry as well. And he sent me an article, I believe, and it was on when you add the sugar into your meringue and how it affects the density. If you add all of your sugar in at once in the beginning of your meringue when you're whipping, it will make a denser meringue, but it won't whip up as fluffy. And vice versa. So if you slowly add your sugar into your meringue as you go, it's going to be more voluminous, but that doesn't his name but that I don't feel that it is better one way or the other. I almost like a dense meringue, but I think that's just because I'm used to it. Okay, did I sing it? Did I sing his name? I don't even know when I start to break out in song. So okay, on the KitchenAid, Jean, yeah, so Jean's saying that she doesn't ever go higher than a 6 when mixing on the KitchenAid. That's definitely some people's preference, and it works wonders. Like, it changed and made the world of a difference for a few people I know specifically that were really wanting those full shells. So you can definitely try it. If you had questions that I didn't get to, because was it Lester? I don't think I answered your question, but I don't see it either. So will you write it again if you're there? I might be macaronaging too much. Okay, T, sorry. I missed yours as well. Rashika, the more color I add, the thinner the feet are. Rashika, if you're still here, when you add colorant, are you using gel paste? Drying the wax on a soap pad takes longer. Amy, thank you so much for being here. I love how everybody helps each other in the feed. It just makes my day, especially because I am falling behind in the chat. Let me check this out. That is a really annoying timer. Okay, so I turned my oven completely off. These are baking a lot faster. I might have over-baked them. What I do in the oven when I'm trying to see how they baked is I am pushing on them. And you can wiggle them if you want. These are super sturdy. The feet still ruffled out a tiny bit, but you know, they're nice and smooth on the top, especially for French method. Okay. Let's see here. Amy, I switched to only powder or ultra concentrated gels for max. Yeah, same with me, Amy. I can't use a whole bunch of gel colorants. It definitely makes the batter more moist. I can't get those deep colors. That's why I love the sugar art, because you're not adding extra moistness, but you get that nice deep color if you need it. Like when you add more moistness, it's kind of, if you think of it, so here's the thing. when you add more gel paste or when you overmix your batter, you're making your batter more runny, which makes it more moist. So when you're piping, you're going to get more moisture as you're baking, and then the ruffled feet usually come, the fragile tops usually come, and the sticky bottoms, no matter how long you bake, come. So that has a lot to do with either too much gel or colorant or overmixing. Also could be undermixing your meringue, and if you didn't ever have like a nice sturdy meringue to start with, it'll start breaking down right away, and that batter is more moist. So if you think it in terms of wetness of your batter, it can answer a lot of your questions of your macarons, because there's lots of different contributing factors, but if your batter is more runny and moist, those are the troubleshooting issues that you will run into. So that's kind of hopefully it lays that out of what can happen when you overmix, put too much moisture in, like extract or colorant, gel colorant. Okay. I always use gel. So yeah, you could just add Rashika. You could try just adding 1 drop. I know the color won't be where you want it, but just see if that helps solve your issue, because it will make your macarons sink down a little bit more with that extra moistness. Okay, Rob said, I'm curious about your hand mixer. It has newer whisk attachments than my old school one. You know what? So there's the ones with the more flat beaters. And then there's this, they're super thin. I actually like the flat beaters better. The ones that look, they still have that look, right? But then they have more surface area. They're like flatter. I like those better. I mean, both of them whip up, but I feel like the less surface area, I feel like it's not catching as much and whipping as much. But I mean, a whisk does the job, and those are really thin too. So, but I like both. I've used both. My mother-in-law has, I think it's KitchenAid brand of a whisk, and it has those larger whip up things. Yeah, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Okay. If you want to add more gel, age your egg whites. That's a great tip, JP Blade. Aging egg whites or any type of concentrating of the proteins before adding more liquid. That's a great tip. Oh yeah, you said reduces water content for a more stable meringue. And just remember, if you age your egg whites, to age them and then rescale them, because you don't want to use too little egg whites. If you've reduced down a few grams, you want to replenish those grams. What I like to do is overscale and then let them age, so then you don't have to add fresh egg whites in to kind of add more. It adds more of the moisture up again. So overscale and then make sure you rescale before whipping, and make sure you're at the same amount that you need for the recipe. If I'm gonna bake 800 macarons, you recommend I use Italian. Turn out as good, at least in my kitchen. So Nina, if Italian doesn't work in your kitchen, I don't recommend it. If you're able to get it down, I would recommend with large production Italian, but that's only if it works. French can work beautiful in large amounts as well. So it's not necessarily better. French does great. I had someone else do a ton for a wedding, and she used French, and it all worked out great. Italian is awesome in a bakery setting in large production because you can do it like a ton, and then they usually have these ovens as well where you can put all of the trays in at once. So in our home ovens, Italian might not be the best bet. It's definitely up to your comfort level and environment and how your oven responds to these different methods, because I'm excited to try Italian in this, but like I finally got it in my Portland home, but in the previous ones I just would always get lopsided, so it's definitely something to troubleshoot, and it might not be worth putting all that effort into the troubleshooting if French already works for you. I thought... Rob, that's a great insight, whipping up more air into it. Yeah, but I like both types of beaters. I haven't found that one works better than the other. Lakeisha was struggling with small feet. There are a few things. You can macaronage less. You can try, so depending on what oven temperature you use, this is gonna sound really confusing, but a higher temperature can help with bigger feet, but it also can minimize your feet if it's going too fast and then collapsing. So macaronaging a little bit less, resting longer, and then working with oven temperature in general. You might need to, what are you baking at now, I should ask? Or what JP said, if your batter isn't super strong, a strong meringue will help your feet be able to hold up and stay in. Can't talk. Will help you develop feet with a strong meringue. Okay. How did I start selling my Macs at a market? I started out my business going into people's homes and having businesses, like having parties. So I would teach macarons at a bridal shower, or teach macarons just for a group of women who wanted to, or men and women. Mostly it was women. So I taught in people's homes and did private pastry lessons. And then they liked my product, so they encouraged me to sell, and I got my cottage food license, and then I applied for markets in my area, which isn't as easy. Some markets are very competitive. I've told people in classes that I've had before that, I had a market manager. The market that I ended up selling at, she did not like macarons, and she did not really want me as a vendor. But I stuck with it, and I said, please, there's nothing else like this at the market. I can foresee me selling, my cookies here. I think it'll be a good addition to your market. And she eventually let me come, but she didn't want to. So definitely fight for your position if you're having trouble with getting into a market. They ask you to bring your product, they try it. Usually that will seal the deal, but she had a group of other people taste my product because she herself wasn't the biggest fan, and I think they advocated for me as well, so that was nice. But don't take it personally if you don't get into one either, and just keep trying. But you definitely have to get licensed. So I have a couple business vlogs on here. Okay. I Yes, Claudia. I think it was you, right? Yes, perfect. They were gorgeous. That's exactly who I was talking about. Claudia was the one that just did all those French method, and they worked great. So let's see if I can crack this. So, oh. This is a little bit more crumbly. Might be overbaked. No. Just let them cool. Sorry, trying not to chew on camera. I let them cool a little bit too long. That's what happens when they're completely cool. They do break. The shells break for me. So you don't have to think. A lot of people think something's wrong if they can't break their macaron like people do. When it's matured, it will break easier. Right out of the oven, when it's cooled, it's at its crispiest. And that will, a lot of the times, have your shells crack as you try to break into it. That's why I like to try when they're just a little warm still. So then hopefully we can see what's on the inside without having too much cracking. Or you can actually get a knife, and like a serrated knife, and that helps too without cracking. Okay. All right, you guys. Let's see here. Ooh, Rob, you're starting pastry school? I'm starting next month. It's a 2-year program. Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. Pastry school was the best time of my life. It was amazing. I hope you really enjoy it. Ooh, Nina, you add the powdered sugar into the meringue? Oh, I'd like to see, do you have videos? I want to watch your videos. Yes, I will, Heidi. Thank you. I'm going to get some, we got some Theraflu tea that kept me going this morning. And hopefully I'll just keep getting better and better. So I'm sorry for the sickness. I promise I won't be giving these macarons out. I'm so happy that I got to see you guys. It had been way too long, and I'm just really excited that we got to share this time and bake together. I hope some of the troubleshooting that I'm going through helps you guys, and if it doesn't, at least you guys help each other in the live chats. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Celia. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you very, very much. Leanne, did you get your question answered? Thank you, Princess Sassy. Thank you, Amy, for your generosity as well. Everybody's just for coming. I know it's a weird time too, in the middle of the week, a little bit earlier than it had been. It really warms my heart to be able to do this again and to see you guys in here. So thank you. Yes, Jean, I'm so happy I got to share the kitchen with you guys. Oh, good, Heidi. Thank you. I know. Thank you, T. I just don't want to be sick. Thank you, Patricia, for being here. Much love to you all. Honestly, you guys made my day. I'm already feeling better. Randy says, thank you. Missed you too, Ian. I love you guys. Thank you. You know how to make a girl just feel better. It was so good to see you guys too, Razna. Susie, much love. Thank you again for your message yesterday. Yes, I'm Nina. I think it would be very cool to see your process because that sounds really interesting. I love it. Okay, we'll be on the lookout for Nina's video on adding the powdered sugar to her meringue. I love it. I've tried just powdered sugar and no sucrose or granulated sugar, and that did not work for me, so I'm interested to see this. But thank you guys, much love, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Hopefully I can even fill these and eat them myself. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Is kind of just make, so I just want to do the comparison real fast of how small these little feet were from the first one, and then these ones were a little bit bigger. See, it's like a little more bubbly. That's what I like. So the oven got up to 375 with this first tray. And this one was 315 still. So we'll see how they mature and such, but definitely more bubbly with the lower temp. Okay, goodbye for now. I'll see you guys in a little bit. I have to decide if I'm going to be doing these bi-weekly again or maybe once a month. I'd love to hear what you guys would prefer in the comments, or if you write back, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, feel free to write me if you guys enjoy these, if they're getting a little bit tired, all that. So thank you. Much love to you all. Thank you for your generosity and your gifts. Beyond grateful for that support. So thank you all. Good night for some maybe, and good afternoon for some other. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Bye everybody.